we'll start there. That should be 26 at left back, left center back number 4, right center back 22, right back 13. In the and then from sure. Next one's just switch. Okay, let me see. It should be 16 in there instead of 92. And then that'll be fine with the 3 of them in there. And then up top then it'll be 10 on the left, 14 in the middle, and on the right 92. Oh, sweet. All right, my man. If you want to help us, I'll just give you this. It's really helpful. A spotter, like while we're watching, if you kind of feel that I'm struggling to identify a player, write down their number real quick and like kind of tap me on the shoulder and show it to me. That'll be a great help. Especially on like corners, it gets kind of tough. And I'm scrambling of like who was that on that play? That can be a big help. Appreciate it, man.
Here now the starting lineup for this evening's opponent, FC Tulsa. Team captain, defender number 22, Bradley Bourgeois. In goal, number 31, Austin Warman. Defender number 26, Pregame.
Cruz, you can stand up if you need to. Like behind us, you can come in
yeah,
between.
You can come in between if you want.
No? Okay.
Midfielder number 92, Dario Suarez. Midfielder number 44, Eric Bird.
Good evening and welcome into Kansas City. beautiful Children's Mercy Park, the site for some Friday night lights. It's Sporting KC2 against FC Tulsa in the Central Division of the USL Championship, alongside Nick Garcia, the longtime Kansas City Wizards great. I am Carter Augustine, and Nick, it's a pleasure to have you into the booth this evening for what should be a very fascinating matchup, the fourth this season between these two sides. The home team has come out victorious in the previous three.
Yeah, thanks, Carter. You know what? I am excited about this game because it's goals, goals, goals. And guess what? I think we're going to see a lot more goals. If you take Da Costa here from Tulsa, he's a young Brazilian guy. He's scored a lot of goals. He's leading his team in appearances and starts. Not only that, but he has 8 goals, 4 assists. The thing that I like the most as a former professional defender, I like the fact that he has 5 yellow cards, right? And he's also engaged in 36 key plays here, historically throughout all his matches. So that tells me that he's the kind of guy who stays active, stays busy, and he's always engaged helping his teammates.
Main man for this highly potent attack for FC Tulsa, Rodrigo Da Costa, starts every match. He's into the 11 again tonight, and opposite him, John Postgame getting the nod in between the posts for SKC2. The goalkeeper will be tasked with trying to hold back that really good attack.
Yeah, you know what? And I love this 10th start here for Postgame. You know why? Because he's at home. He's got the experience. He needs to gain more experience, and the only way you're going to do that is by playing better teams and better players, and that's why I think there's going to be a lot of goals. If you look at the past games here that both these teams have played, the last 3, 14 goals. It's unbelievable. So we know that there's going to be issues. I look as a former player, right, looking back at when I played with Tony Miola, there was always that goalkeeper behind you that you wanted to kind of help nurture and foster great things. That accountability is there. I know John Poolskamp has that within him, but they've also got to make sure that Tulsa doesn't score the goal. So I think it's going to be a great back-and-forth game. And, again, goals, goals, goals.
Another nod in between the sticks for the 20-year-old star for Sporting KC2. Who joins him? And Rodrigo Da Costa in the starting 11s will have the lineups and kick coming up next. Welcome back to Kansas City, Kansas. The only match in the USL Championship on this Friday night. It's not a better place to do it than at Children's Mercy Park. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. And we'll start with the visitors, FC Tulsa. Just one change made to their starting 11. A loss at home against Austin Bold last Saturday. That snapped a 6-match unbeaten run. And in response, Lebo Maloto not fit enough for the bench. He is replaced in the starting 11 by Kembo Kibato. There is manager Michael Encian. His side looking set for a playoff push. They do want to try and get a home playoff game. Now the home side sporting KC2, Paulo Nagamura. 4 changes made to the starting 11. They had last weekend off, so it's been 2 weeks just about since the last time out. A 1-0 loss away to Indy 11. John Postgame comes into goal. In the back line, Danny Barbier and Kave Rod coming into the heart of the defense with Roger Smith into the attack. The 4 changes for Paulo Nagamura. A narrow loss last time out, but a win the last time they played here at Children's Mercy Park. Underway on this beautiful Friday night in Kansas City, Kansas. Sporting KC2 hosting FC Tulsa, a Central Division clash in the USL Championship as KC2 go from right to left with their blue-on-blue stripes. The visitors, FC Tulsa, clad in all white, going from left to right. Alongside MLS Cup champion with the Kansas City Wizards, Nick Garcia. I am Carter Augustine. Pleasure to have you joining us for this Friday night football. And well, Nick, as we talked about in the pregame, 4th matchup between these 2 sides. And FC Tulsa perhaps looking for a bit of revenge here at Children's Mercy Park as the home team has come away victorious in the first 3 matchups. What excites you about the encounter here this evening?
You know, Carter, what it really is about for me is getting points, right? Tulsa historically has not done well. 2 wins, 10 losses, 2 draws here in Kansas City. Sporting 2 hasn't had the best of seasons, but guess what? I think Tulsa needs the points a little bit more. So obviously both teams are going to be feeling themselves out here, or each other out. And guess what? I think because we've had a lot of goals here this season when these 2 teams have met, I don't really think it's going to be any different. I think for me, it's going to be when they come and how they come.
Indeed, FC Tulsa sitting in 3rd in the Central Division, trying to lock up a playoff spot, and indeed looking up, trying to catch down those top 2 teams in the division and track down a home playoff game. We heard about them talking about that during the week, FC Tulsa, but they're coming off the backs of a difficult one, a loss at home to Austin Bold, which snapped some really good form for the visitors heading into this one. They'll be looking to get back on the right track as they try and chase down Birmingham and Louisville. Played it on along the back, away from the pressure, now over the top and into the hands of John Postgame. 20-year-old, one of the 4 changes for Paulo Nagamura, goalkeeper replacing Kendall McIntosh, who had himself a really wonderful game away in Indianapolis last time out. It was a narrow loss for SKC2. Took 77 minutes for Indy 11 to beat McIntosh in that one. It's been a couple weeks, Nick, since we've seen SKC2 in action, as that's caused some problems for the goalkeeper. Someone out of nowhere, just a burst down the middle from Roger Smith, and it's scrambled away by FC Tulsa.
And I tell you what a great ball. You might as well hit it. It's early, 3 minutes in, and who cares if it goes to the goalkeeper? You know, so I think those are the kind of searching balls out of the back that Sporting KC2 needs. And guess what? That wasn't a bad ball. And again, I think it's somewhat opportunistic, right?
Came from Petr Kulic, and why not try and find Roger Smith, who split through the defense there, and in the end, Austin Wormel just a bit panicky there in the clearance, but managed to scramble it away for FC Tulsa. So I was just about to ask you, it's been a couple weeks, so could we perhaps see a rejuvenated SKC2, or maybe a little bit rusty? That's got to be the question, right?
That is the question, right? I think as a coach, you hope your team that has had that time off.
Jake Davis has a rip from distance.
And here's the deal, right? As a player, you want time off, you need time off, but at the end of the day, I think that rust can set in, and I think the players want to get out there and prove that they are rested, ready to go, and want to disrupt a Tulsa team that, if you look at them here throughout the season, have been very, very diligent in their starting lineups. They've gotten results.
It's the high pressure here from Mushagalusa, turns it over. Cisneros forced to retreat momentarily. Caden Pierre up from the right back position. Fakes the cross, takes the defender out. Cuts inside. Davis got a toe poke. Kulic. Oh, it's just trying to work it around there, SKC2. Tulsa, all hands on deck. Picked back up by Davis, and it's 1v1. Mushagalusa likes these situations. He goes for the far post. Misses it wide, but sustained pressure in the attack from SKC2.
And again, I love it. Another 2 minutes have gone by. It's another shot. It's another opportunity. I think you could say that both teams haven't been exactly crisp here on passes and final third movement. But again, Sporting Kansas City 2 getting another shot on goal, and we've yet to see one from Tulsa.
Enoch Mushagalusa, he likes to test the goalkeeper. 6th in the league coming into this match with 53 shots. He's already got one under his belt here in the first 5 minutes. So it's been a couple weeks for SKC2, but they're still coming out with the same front three. And it's Ozzy Cisneros playing more of a false 9 for the 3rd consecutive match for Paulo Nagamura. He must see something he likes, keeping with Cisneros up top.
I think so, right? I mean, he's a young guy. He likes to get forward. Not that he's a liability, but guess what? You can afford more opportunities for him to be crafty towards the opponent's goal. So, yeah, I think Ozzy has the wheels. He has the engine. He's still learning the game, but I think he's one of those dynamic players that can change things. So why not keep him up front where he can probably do most of his damage?
Still just 17 years of age, Ozzy Cisneros, and he's on for his 10th start of the season on loan from Sporting Kansas City. And that's something to watch out for. He's listed as a midfielder, more nominally plays as a midfielder, but we've already seen Roger Smith bursting in behind Cisneros. We see Tulsa come forward into the attack. Matt Sheldon. Barbier can't really handle it, but he has to and is able to slide that one out of play and avoid a corner. There's Ozzy Cisneros once more leading the line. It's a false 9 for this SKC2. Quick 1-2 from the throw, and it worked wonders for FC Tulsa. Now some contact inside the area, and out of nowhere, FC Tulsa have a penalty.
I don't know if I agree with that. I think LaFleur was obviously going for the ball.
It was a bang-bang play inside the area, and you see Isaiah LaFleur, the youngster, the left back, with his hands on his head after this collision.
I think there's an argument there, right? I mean, Marlon didn't have the ball. They're both going for it. Yes, it's inside the box.
It was Marlon who just stuck his foot in front there to win the penalty given by the referee, Kevin Ficart. And so now a chance for FC Tulsa to take the lead. Slow run up. Oh, that's a powerful penalty. You can't stop that one. Dario Suarez goes top ins, and he gives FC Tulsa a 1-0 lead.
Postgame had no chance. You know, I mean, he did the best he could. But when that ball comes in there as a goalkeeper, all you're doing is guessing, right? Pick the right side, wrong location.
It's even John Pulskamp, just a rueful look on his face there. No stopping that one. Well, it takes a bit of courage to go top shelf from the penalty spot, and that's what Dario Suarez did. But he's popped up with his team-leading 9th goal of the season, and now he has 3 goals against SKC2 as well.
And Carter, as we talked about here in the pregame, we know that there will be goals. I don't think either one of us saw it coming that early or in that kind of a situation, but I think Sporting KC2 now has to maybe adjust at some point here relatively soon. Maybe go a little bit more direct, right? I think the time has subsided here and feeling each other out. Now you have a little bit more sense of urgency, keeping the ball, moving it quickly, finding seams where you can get forward and making the most of the opportunities. Because up until that point, right, I think we could easily say that that was Tulsa's first shot.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you, what's the mindset now for SKC2, where 8 minutes into the game, FC Tulsa rarely had a kick in the attacking half, and all of a sudden you have to pick it out of your own net.
Well, and again, they kind of got punched here a little bit in the gut. Game's not over, but by no means are they playing phenomenally well right now. So it's just finding the ball, making the most of your opportunities, and finding some rhythm.
As we told you, 3 matches before this one between these two teams, 7 goals apiece in those 3. As Mushagalusa's just run out of play here, a goal kick to come for FC Tulsa. And it's the 4th match between these sides, and we've had a goal in the opening 14 minutes in all 4. This one came just a little sooner than that. But these are 2 teams that usually play out an enthralling encounter.
And here's an interesting stat, right? Sporting KC, 68% of the goals that they have obtained against Tulsa come in the second half.
The second half team, SKC2 on the goal sheets, and they'll be looking to try and pull one back before halftime as well, because FC Tulsa are really great at shutting things down with the lead at halftime. 9 wins and a draw if they have the lead at halftime under Michael Ensian this season. Kave Rod back into the starting 11 for his 8th start on loan from Sporting Kansas City. And it is just 4 changes, but 2 of them are the 2 center backs for SKC2, as Graham Smith and Alias Jankic are available on the bench this evening, but it's Danny Barbier and Kave Rod at the heart of the defense for the home side. Tulsa drops inside their own half, and here comes Rod over the top, looking for Christian Duke, who had run in behind on the stretch, couldn't bring it under his control.
And that's all right. You know, I mean, look, the past 90 seconds, Sporting KC2 has possessed the ball better. They've kind of put Tulsa back on their heels. Now what they've got to do defensively is make things as small as they can, get close to guys, close them down, and just take better care of the ball.
Here they are pressuring high up the pitch, forcing a long kick out from the goalkeeper. It's won by Johnson. Jason Johnson getting that aerial duel for FC Tulsa. It's now Kembo Kibato tries to find Suarez, who's offside for the visitors.
And if you look at that run, right, he tries to go right in between Sporting KC2's defenders. He tries to make it a little bit more difficult for them to see them, and being opportunistic, trying to get that opportunity on goal. And I think that's where you could potentially see Tulsa exploit the 2 new central backs with Kansas City, just because they haven't been together routinely.
O.J. Smith did well to keep that under some pressure, and then Cisneros fouled right in front of the Tulsa bench. They didn't like it.
And I can see why. I think the referee might have bailed him out a little bit. Might have been a little bit, you know, light at heart. But, yeah, nonetheless, the referee thought it was a foul, and such is life.
Well, here's a poor clearance, and it's fallen kindly to Mushagalusa. Now, who'd that come off last? Don't envy the ref in that position. Pinballing around inside the box, and he gives a corner. Well, it fell kindly to Mushagalusa, and he again got his eyes up and tried to dribble out a defender.
And I think a great job by the AR identifying the Tulsa defender, booting that one out, towing it, whatever it was. We couldn't really tell from up here or there at home. But again, I think Sporting KC2 has the potential to be pretty dangerous here on the set piece. And I think quite often a lot of goals here at the professional level come off of set pieces, right?
Davis delivers it into Rod, and in fact, SKC2 do have 4 goals this season on corner kicks. As Kuich, well, that's a bit errant, right into the feet of DaCosta, who sprints away, trying to help Jason Johnson. And here it is, into the feet of DaCosta. Eyes up, first time cross, and Postgame's all over.
And Marlon was almost wide open, right? Postgame did a great job to come off his line, but those are the things you cannot afford to do. You're in the 14th minute, you're down a goal. By no means off of your own corner kick should you be giving your opponent another opportunity. Frustrating.
And that's kind of been a theme this season at times for SKC2. Great periods of play, and then undone by their own costly mistakes. It's Paulo Nagamura in his 4th season at the helm of SKC2. looking for another home result here. It's been tough sledding at Children's Mercy Park this season. 2 wins, 7 losses, and 4 draws at home. But again, they did win the last time they played here a couple weeks ago. Fantastic match. 3-0 winners over OKC Energy last time out here at Children's Mercy Park.
But you've got to put together multiple streaks, multiple wins, right? It's not good enough if you get one every once in a while, you lose one, you draw one. The great Bob Gansler, who was my coach here in Kansas City, said soccer is a game of mistakes, and it's very true, right? And quite often it's unforced errors. Similar to that right there, where you've got to take better care of the ball, right? If you can't possess the ball, you're going to defend. If you're defending all the time, you're going to be tired. If you're tired, that's when the brain kind of starts to fade and you give up errant opportunities.
Here's it worked into the feet of Duke. His first time layoff was to Smith. Watch out, goalkeeper got it mucked up under his feet. Austin Warmel, not for the first time this evening. Great work from Marlin to win it back, and Johnson offside. That looked like a great opportunity on the counter, and now, well, Postgame and Johnson go toe-to-toe. And Johnson's gonna pick up a yellow card for kicking it away after the whistle, something that John Postgame took great exception to.
Yeah, and I think if you look at Rod, you know, he had him right off his shoulder. He let him get into that offsides position. And yeah, you know what? Once the whistle blows, especially in today's professional game, you can't boot it. You can't get rid of it like that. So obviously they had some choice words there. Might be something I should have done or would have done back in the day, but hopefully it doesn't affect Johnson here as the game carries on, right? Getting a stupid yellow card like that could prove costly.
Well, he and Postgame are still jawing at each other as finally get the ball back into play. Just keep an eye out on striker versus goalkeeper dynamic throughout the remainder of this one. As that ball finds the feet of LaFleur, he can run into space. He's got Mushagalusa. Tried to return it. Blocked initially. Now he's going through Marlin, and he's upended. A foul and a free kick in a really good attacking position for SKC2.
Yeah, and I think if you look at Kevin Fiker's position here, similar to that of the PK, you know, if you're trying to get by a guy and you're obstructed, he's going to call it. So both teams, I think, have been given fair warning of the kind of calls that could potentially be called here. And again, the free kicks, I think, have to be very opportunistic, very productive. We saw Sporting Kansas City's last corner kick kind of get jammed down their throat. So hopefully they've learned from that and doesn't happen again on this.
It's Jake Davis lining it up. Cisneros in close attendance, but it's going to be all Davis. Oh, he thumps it right through that dangerous area, the 6-yard box. Players on both teams missing out. It goes through everybody and out of play.
I love it. Why not? Bang it in there. You hope that, you know, your guy hits it. I think that was Rod that was right there. He barely missed it. And guess what? It doesn't have to be pretty. I think one of the craziest, best goals that I ever had in college, not me, but one of my teammates, it was a rocket that came. He stuck his chest out right inside the 6, and he scored a goal.
That had to be the thinking from Jake Davis there. Just put it in that dangerous area. Lots of pace on it. Any deflection could have taken a goal bound, and, well, Cobby Rod was inches away. Got his first goal as a professional earlier this year in that 4-1 win here over FC Tulsa for SKC2. One of just 4 wins on the season for Sporting Kansas City 2, and surely FC Tulsa sitting in 3rd place will be looking at that one as, hey, we got to make up for some lost time and some lost points here in Kansas City.
Yeah, and you got to think Paulo Nagamura is frustrated, right? You know, only 4 wins. He knows his team is better than that. You know, bug bitten, whatever it is, you know, he works so hard out there. I know the guys, all of them work hard, right? And you want to be rewarded for your hard, diligent work, but you need to have results.
As they burst down the right through Mushagalusa, and it's a good combination play to open up the back line, but Mushagalusa dribbles it out of play for a goal kick.
Just has to be stronger, right? It's almost like he's on ice skates. He knows the contact's coming, but stand him up. Try to get something out of it, at least maybe knock it off the defender to help your team get a corner kick. But, you know, again, those are the little things I think that can make a big difference. not only here during the season, but also into the playoffs.
Kulich shoves DaCosta out of the way and wins that for SKC2. A barge in the back there from Sheldon goes unpunished. All the way back to the goalkeeper, Warner. Over the top. And once more, FC Tulsa caught offside. It's a pattern that's starting to develop here through the opening 20 minutes or so.
Well, I think if you look at that, right, they want to kind of toe the line. When Sporting Kansas City started out, you couldn't tell if it was 3 or 4 in the back. You've got 2 big guys there now centrally for Sporting Kansas City. You got Johnson, who's on a yellow card. And we know that they're going to just try to lump the ball up there into space in between the defenders, trying to get the most going to goal. And I think if you look at Tulsa right now, they've had probably their most success on kind of these fast break balls that are into space behind Sporting Kansas City.
20 minutes gone. FC Tulsa lead through an 8th-minute penalty converted by Dario Suarez after Marlon was fouled inside the box by Isaiah LaFleur. Here is LaFleur getting it into Duke. He's one of the talented young fullbacks for SKC2. Coming up through the academy, LaFleur. Here's the other one, Caden Pierre. Jake Davis turning away from DaCosta. Just helps it on its way to Musha Galusa, who's looking for the switch to the near side. Well cut out by Sheldon. Could be another counterattack for Tulsa, and no, it's just going to drift away from Suarez.
But do you see how quick it took Tulsa to go forward? Sporting KC2 is struggling right now to get the balls going faster, more forwardly.
It's now center of the pitch. DaCosta works it well with Kibato, and he's dumped it to the near side with Marlon. Now here's a bit of sustained possession for the visitors.
Well, look at that, right? I mean, Sporting has 9 guys behind the ball, 10 guys, everybody. They've got to get out of their own half. They've got to try to go after the ball in the opponent's middle third.
It's now along the back for FC Tulsa. Marlon. Inside for DaCosta. DaCosta, well, we talked about him in the pregame. At the heart of everything for this FC Tulsa team.
And he finds the ball at the right time. You know, we really haven't said a lot about him. He hasn't been kind of spotlighted. But look at this, right? I mean, all the Tulsa players moving, wanting, needing the ball, going forward in fairly decent spots. You know, we're halfway through the first half, and they're still going at it.
Chance on the right for Sheldon. He's defended by LaFleur, who wanted a goal kick. Instead, it's going to be awarded as a corner for the visitors.
You've got to do better than that, right?
So a corner now for the visitors. Dario Suarez. Goal scorer from the penalty, and he's just going to back away here.
I think they're looking to maybe play it short, yeah.
2 of the main attackers here short. Instead, it'll be the left-footed DaCosta. In-swinger. Postgame got a punch to it right in front of Jason Johnson. And now both teams making their case to the referee, and the case is going to be won this time by SKC2 goal kick.
And Postgame did a great job coming out. Guess what? You get the ball. If you got to get your guy and everybody else with you, do it. But, you know, that's what Postgame wants to do. He has to do. It's kind of interesting that Johnson was right in the mix with him. Who knows? Maybe he felt a little bit extra something to win that ball. But job well done.
That's a great point. Those two jawing earlier, and it's really the first coming together between Johnson and Postgame, who I don't think will be exchanging postcards after this match. It's Kuich. Delightful crossfield into the path of LaFleur. Stutter step. Oh, and he's around a defender. LaFleur looking for the cross. Good recovery from Sheldon, but it's a corner conceded by FC Tulsa.
Yeah, and it was a decent move, right? He goes towards the end line. But the thing that I'm looking for, right, is that there's not enough guys committed there from Sporting Kansas City to getting to the goal. Being in front of the goalkeeper within the posts if that ball happens to get there. And I'm just not seeing probably enough enthusiasm to get a goal.
As Jake Davis lines up to take the corner once more for SKC2. Good punch, but it falls to Christian Duke. Just couldn't get his connection right. Slipped on the ball at the vital moment, and now Tulsa look to break. Suarez sees a double team coming his way. That's a clever leave for DaCosta. He just tried to chip it over the back line, and he's going to apologize to his teammate Dario Suarez.
Well, too cute, too cheeky. Sporting did a great job to get numbers back. Tulsa was slow coming forward, so probably don't fault him for that, just because he didn't have a lot of options. But as the game wears on, that could prove a very, very costly mistake for either team, whether not taking care of the ball or not taking advantage of opportunities.
It's now Danny Barbier. Finds the feet of Smith. Roger Smith, the birthday boy. Turning 25 just recently. That's over the top, Barbier. And here it is to Roger Smith looking over the top, and well, he's just got too much bend on that one, and it's into the goalkeeper.
You know, if you look at the Tulsa backs, when they get the ball, they're looking for those searching balls long first, and if they have to play it short, they can, they will. It is probably a little too easy for Tulsa playing it out of the back. There's probably not enough pressure from Sporting KC2. And I think the lines are just too disjointed, right? I mean, if you look at Tulsa's back line connected to the middle and their forward line, I think they're doing a better job right now bypassing, getting through Kansas City, and effectively just having more quality opportunities.
Offside here, called by the far side assistant, and that led to a break and play momentarily. As Marlon picks up pocket of space on the near side. Tulsa coming into this match, 38 points. That's double the point tally of SKC2, despite playing a game fewer. Only 2 draws on the season for FC Tulsa. Mushkalusa dribbles that off a defender and out of play. They've been a team, FC Tulsa, where it's going to be goals involved in their games. That's almost a guarantee. 37 goals for the visitors, which, well, not 38 on the season, I should say, which brings them into sole possession of 10th in the league. Meanwhile, 37 goals allowed also in the top 10 in terms of worst defenses. So plenty of action in these FC Tulsa games.
Kind of reminds me of an NBA All-Star game, yeah?
Yeah. Up and down the pitch. Good enough for 3rd in the Central Division. Trying to work that from the throw. You just see the players gesticulating to one another after that routine just didn't quite come off for the visitors.
Well, from here it's pretty easy to see, but what I liked about that, Sporting Kansas City had everybody within kind of a quadrant from the middle of the field to the far side, right? So being compact, being able to communicate, being able to cover, very, very good. It made it very difficult for Tulsa to get out of that. And in essence, it made it one of those situations where Tulsa really didn't have much that they could gain out of that throw-in. So I think that's part of the organizational strategy of Paolo and Sporting, not only here with the second team, but also into the first team in Peter Vermes, because obviously they want to have a lot of that symmetry, right, from first to second and academy teams.
8 players, 22 or under in the starting 11 for SKC2 here this evening, and that's kind of what you're speaking to. These kids coming up and just getting a little bit more experience, and as we get towards the final stretch here of the season, those young kids are really starting to bolster themselves in stature and learn a bit more about this professional game.
And I love it, right? I mean, domestic, international players, the age really doesn't matter, right? What matters most is the experience. And I'm happy to see that USL, Major League Soccer, and other professional leagues here in North America and elsewhere are depending more and more on young talent, because that's how the game's going to grow. It ensures that first teams are successful, World Cup teams, Olympics, all those things. So I'm in my 40s, and back in my day, we had the Olympic development process. We had youth national teams. But these players have academies. They have, second and third divisions. They travel internationally at a younger and younger age. So I think in turn it just helps to bolster both the male and the female game.
7 players in that starting 11 through the academy for SKC2 here this evening. That speaks to that point. Here's one of them, Jake Davis, who recently became the 19th homegrown signing for Sporting Kansas City. As we are half an hour gone at Children's Mercy Park, FC Tulsa lead through an 8th-minute penalty converted by Dario Suarez. Stood up to the far side. Caden Pierre can stretch his legs as he's sprinting past Suarez and into the attack. And it's still Caden Pierre. He's around Jadama. Pierre goes for the cutback. Oh, it's right on the penalty spot. A gallivanting run down the right for Caden Pierre.
Roger Smith, where were you? Right? I mean, I mentioned that earlier, and this was probably the most beautiful run I think Sporting has had all night. But Roger Smith, where are you? You got to be there. You have to be committed. You know that ball's coming. You got to beat your guy. And if you can't beat the guy, maybe you foul him.
Chance there as the highly talented, highly touted prospect Pierre had burst down the right. Now another run down the right from SKC2, and Mushagalusa picks up a foul and a free kick. This is a man that likes to dribble 1v1 at defenders. We've seen that throughout the evening, and this time he manages to pick up a free kick for his side.
And again, if you look at that play right there, 3 guys versus 1. Guys are tired. Mentally, you might be making a not-so-good decision. Sporting Kansas City is, again, kind of at the helm here with another opportunity. Can they do more with it? I think so, right? And, I mean, as the game's going to wear on, we talked about this, bodies will get tired and fatigued, the brain maybe a little bit, but, this is another great opportunity for Sporting KC2 here to make the most of it. And Tulsa, to try to thwart this, and if they can, counterattack quickly.
Kuich and Davis. Kuich fakes. Davis goes for goal. Punched away. A good effort from Jake Davis, matched by a good save from Austin Warmel.
Warmel did a great job, right? I mean, it came over the wall. He probably didn't see it really that quickly. Could have, should have probably gone in the goal, but a great job. Now it's a corner kick, and again, Sporting Kansas City 2 has to provide an opportunity that gets them something on the frame here. And if not, just don't let it get countered.
Davis can't beat the first man, headed away. Second phase to come, and another good clearing defensive header from the all-whites of FC Tulsa. Now intercepted by Bradley Bourgeois. And he's found a good pass to Marlon. Infield forward to Costa, who just kind of slows things up a bit here and allows FC Tulsa to get on the ball.
Tough one for Caden Pierre, right? Off of that corner, he hits it low straight into a Tulsa defender. It's the second or third time it's happened. And the guys have to start to get that out of their system, right? If you're going to hit it, overhit it. But don't give Tulsa another opportunity jam it back down the throat of the Sporting KC defense.
Big cheers on the SKC2 bench for the effort from Isaiah LaFleur to win it away. Mushagalusa dribbles into trouble, loses out. Got back on his grind to try and win it back, but he's called for the foul.
And again, we know the kind of fouls are going to be called, right? You could sense that there during the penalty. And every subsequent foul that has been called, some would say that it's loose. It's maybe not that hard, but you know what you get.
Has been consistent from Kevin Fiker. And this is from a deep position, but FC Tulsa going to bring up the big bodies from the back. Modou Jadama, 6'1", Bradley Bourgeois up there as well now. Trying to force some havoc inside the SKC2 penalty area. It's a high line from the home side, and John Pulskamp, this Bird, floats this one into the 18. Oh, that's a great leap. In the end, just over the head of Marlon, but, well, how about that vertical from the Brazilian?
I think maybe 5'10" on a good day, and he's the guy that won it.
That was sensational. Would have taken some effort to put this on frame, but what about the leap from Marlon, officially listed 5'8"?
Okay.
I'm sure he'll tell you on a good day, but in the end, the defense does just enough. Something to keep in the back of your minds, the vertical ability of Marlon Santos. Splitting pass from Barbier into Mushagalusa. And the 1-2 doesn't come off. Loose ball picked up by Christian Duke.
And I love that ball by Barbier. It's direct, it's firm. But guess what? The touch let him down. You got to do better with it. And it's the small things again. At this level and higher levels, if you don't take care of the ball, you will be punished.
There was a chance from that entry pass from Barbier that just dissolved rather quickly. Try and work it again. Floor had to stretch to get a touch. And likewise, Sheldon stretches to get away from Mushagalusa. And now Barbier through the back of DaCosta, who's laying down, feeling the effects of that challenge.
I think it's an all right challenge. No malicious intent. I think you want to kind of establish yourself as a defender. And guess what? A guy of DaCosta's ability, you know, might serve to remind them later as the game progresses that you know, he's going to have his work cut out for him getting towards Pulskamp.
Spoken like a true defender there. Just want to leave one in on the attackers and know
absolutely
your presence.
Listen, I'm not out there, at least when I wasn't out there, I wasn't out there to make friends, right? It was about getting wins and helping my team, and I know these guys are all that same mindset.
Bird read the intentions of Kuich, tackled it away, but couldn't keep it in play. Here's Bird, 28-year-old who kind of started the season slowly for FC Tulsa, but he's been ever present ever since, making his 22nd start for FC Tulsa at the heart of that midfield. Well worked, Davis and Duke in the center circle, and it's LaFleur on the left. Another telegraphed his intentions, and it's well read by Bourgeois. He can only push it out for a throw. We're into the final 10 minutes of normal time. And once more, FC Tulsa are so good with the halftime lead. Yet to give it up for a loss. Just one draw in their 10 games, which they've led at halftime.
Well, and if you look at them, right, they're just so well organized. Everyone knows their role. They're not trying to do too much or too little.
Smith tried to unleash a shot with his left. The well-organized FC Tulsa backline blocks that one, but good pass from Cisneros into Smith. Mushagalusa tried to get his cross away, blocked by Jadama, out for an SKC2 corner.
You know, I like that opportunity, but again, I think there's too many guys that are stationary. Everybody's kind of going at the same speed. Everybody's seeing the same thing. Yes, it's a shot. Yes, you get a corner, but you know, try to get inside of those two posts and get something a little bit more direct on the goal. You know, be creative. Shoot, you know, Tulsa got their penalty kick, so why not try to get one yourself?
Third corner of the first half, all taken by Jake Davis. Curling it into the 6. It's over the heads of everybody. Pops kindly for Mushagalusa. Wrong side of that far post.
But that's all right. That's all right. And guess what? Tulsa didn't have an opportunity to try to drill it back down towards Postgame. So while it wasn't pretty and no one won the ball, no harm.
Just popped up for Mushagalusa, and we've seen him several times throughout this season trying to go for that angle to the far corner. Here at Children's Mercy Park, he's hit the post several times from that exact position. This time, just a wild swing and can catch it the way you want it. Don't want to give Enoch Mushagalusa too many of those siders at goal.
You know, one thing I've kind of picked up here is Marlon likes to kind of hang out with LaFleur. When he gets the ball, tries to force him back inside, LaFleur's had to kind of turn back and get it to his defenders. And who knows, maybe that's part of Tulsa's game plan, but it's been very effective in keeping Kansas City pinned in their own third.
Davis to Cisneros. Just lost out. It looks promising. There's good work there from the two center backs as Jason Johnson momentarily looked like he might just escape into the attack.
Absolutely great cover. You can tell these guys know and understand their roles. Not doing too much. Spreading out.
We've seen the passing range from Barbier. Just unleashed a glorious crossfield pass minutes ago to create that chance, which Cisneros wound up dropping inside the area. This time it's Kuich with the big switch, and Pierre cutting in fields. He's around one, can't get around a second. Oh, there's a loose touch from Bird. Pierre gets to it, and he's laid it off for Cisneros.
Pierre is very, very fortunate, right? And again, we talk ad nauseum right now about taking care of that ball. He was very lucky that he's crafty and fast enough to get to it, but you know, in the final third, you've got to do more with it. You know, you've got to understand where your teammates are, what they're doing, what they're not going to do, and I think that's kind of, at least in my summarization here thus far, is Sporting Kansas City 2 just kind of stalls out as they get towards the 18-yard box, where Tulsa just sits back, they defend, they're prepared and ready to go forward and make the most of it.
Jake Davis vehemently disagrees with the foul call, but as you've been saying, that's been pretty consistent throughout the match from the referee. And a free kick just allows FC Tulsa to escape that pressure. And as you're talking about, Nick, it has been some good sustained pressure at times from SKC2, but just 5 shots and only 1 on target as of this point in the match. Just stalling when they get into that attacking third.
And again, it's not bad, but it's not great, right? And I have to wonder what Paulo Nagamura is thinking here as he goes into the half. It's fast approaching. You know, is he going to press it a little bit more? Is he going to stick with the same guys and hope for better? The energy is obviously there. I think that could probably pick up a little bit, but just, again, making the most out of opportunities. Because, again, I think if you look at Tulsa, they're just a little bit more sharp on the ball, running, passing, moving. And obviously they have one goal to show for it.
Now, foul picked up by Jorge Corrales on the far side. Left back, that creates a lot of chances for this FC Tulsa side. 22 chances created with 3 assists on the season. Was away for a little bit in June in the World Cup qualifying efforts of Cuba, which just fell a bit short in the qualifying process. He's picked up a free kick, and we're into the final 2 minutes of this first half. Everybody crowded outside the SKC2 penalty area, waiting the delivery from Eric Bird. Once more, it's one of those floated ones into the box, offside, Modou Jadama.
And that left side there of Postgame atop the 18 was a little worrying for me. Obviously, it turned out to be offsides, but the defender in me saw a little bit of an issue just in guys not being man marked, and you know that Tulsa's going to lump it forward and put as many guys towards the goal as possible. But I think that's just kind of their MO right now, right? Put it up there, see what happens. Not necessarily English, old school English long ball, but you know, these searching balls forward, I think are giving Sporting Kansas City 2 some issues.
Certainly working so far, the tactics from Tulsa. They got the penalty in the 8th minute and done well in defending and countering as Davis helps SKC2 escape the pressure on the near side.
A great series of plays, right? Possessing the ball, moving it, knowing where your options are, playing within yourself.
And a flowing move into the attack from SKC2. LaFleur gets to the end line. Oh, he's through the legs. What a play from LaFleur. Tried to go for the cutback. And it's a corner again for SKC2.
I love it. Again, active, moving, penetrating, trying to go forward, tries to cut it back. It gets sniffed out, but I tell you what, again, 2 minutes left of extra time. You won a goal. You didn't get it. And good things are happening.
Isaiah LaFleur creating this corner. Davis to take once more. Curls it in towards the 6, just over Rod. It's Mushagalusa. Picks up the change along the far side. A double team coming over for FC Tulsa. That'll trickle out of play. Another corner in stoppage time for SKC2.
Very fortuitous, right? Why he kind of let the ball go towards the corner, I don't know. Less than 2 minutes, you should be going towards the goal, trying to maybe draw a penalty. And if it hits off somebody, fine, you're going to get a corner. But to kind of errantly run out there, I don't know.
Worked out in the end, luckily for SKC2. Once again, the deep delivery. And once again, Mushagalusa picks it up. Looking for the angle, takes a deflection. Bourgeois clears it outside of his area, and he's helped by the defensive header of Sheldon. Now Bird kept it in play. And Mushagalusa can run at the defenders. Oh, great work. Marlon, the number 10, coming back to help out his defense. That did go over the line, so SKC2 can continue the pressure.
Minute left. Get it forward. Don't mess with it. Keep it down in Tulsa's end. Make them remember this going into halftime.
So SKC2 try and lock it in. Duke let that run through his legs. He's looking towards the ref. Just wanted something for the contact, nothing given. And that'll bring the first half to a close. FC Tulsa lead through an 8th minute penalty by Dario Suarez. His team-leading 9th goal of the season, his 3rd against SKC2, and that is the difference. Just a lone goal here as we head into halftime. Nick Garcia, what do you make of the first 45 minutes of play?
Ooh, you know, I think short of that penalty kick, you know, I thought it was very entertaining. Sporting KC2 just doesn't look sharp enough in that final third, taking care of the ball. Tulsa, their game plan. We're going to sit back, we're going to wait, we're going to try to counter. We're going to be very, very difficult to play through, and I think for the most part they did that. And obviously the penalty kick was the biggest deciding factor. So, again, I think short of that, the referees have called the game very, very tight. No issues with that. But, again, another 45 minutes. We know we're going to have more goals. Who's going to score them, and when will they be scored?
FC Tulsa with a lead to protect at halftime this season have been really dangerous. They have one of those here in Kansas City. It's halftime at Children's Mercy Park. SKC 2-0, FC Tulsa 1. We'll be right back to look at all the action from an engaging first half. Halftime at Children's Mercy Park, the visitors, FC Tulsa, with a narrow 1-goal advantage, thanks to the penalty scored by Dario Suarez. Well, it was an eventful day at the training grounds of SKC. Let's take a look at Mic'd Up with Johnny Russell.
Let's take a team photo at the end of the year. That's a f***ing good idea.
The rosters are finalized.
So our roster's just been finalised for this year. Now.
Yeah. Are we wearing cleats or shirts?
Cleats.
Boots.
Cleats.
I don't know what cleats are.
How many people do you think Dookie's sending this photo to? Bro, look, bro, I'm in the photo, bro.
Looking at some Halloween costumes here, Kai. Ooh. Hey, let's go. No. Nah. Halloween planning with my boy over here. Hey, it's a money shot right there. Look at that ass. That's a fine Scottish ass right there. You get out as well. It's like prom. Look at that. Look at the tash, man. See that?
You're over here on the left.
Rog. Oh, look at this.
Can't see where you are. Right behind
Let's go.
I made it down here, no way.
That's what happens when you have a good year, bro. Last year Daniel was up there. Last year Daniel was taking the photo. Oh, he's on side. This is. Oh, that's not a good one. Sorry. Get your head back down. There we go. Is there something for Ozzy to stand on? Ozzy, do your best, bro.
Let's do the first one, no smile. Smile the first one.
Very serious.
All right, here we go.
Are we smiling? Smiling? No smiling? What have we done?
Good. Good. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Well, we smiling anyway. I was just like.
No, the first one I was serious and it was just like always smiling and I was like.
I don't know. Smiling? No smiling?
Thank you so much.
Today, as you step onto the field, as you defend and attack, as you move swift, quick, like you were made for this, know that you do not do so alone. With each step, you run with all of the women before you and all of the women that will come after you. A stampede of mujeres blazing a trail on fire. Time cannot catch you. Para ti no existen los límites. You come from women that transformed pain into victory. Women that accepted impossible as a challenge. A challenge is brought to you and you do not turn away. Your journey today awaits you and you do not step down. You step into your purpose. You step strong. Con toda la fuerza de mujer. You step up.
I am a first-generation student here at Bellevue University. I feel like if I were to have gone to a different university, my experience would have been a lot more stressful and overwhelming, because I feel like I wouldn't have gotten that personal experience that Bellevue University has to offer.
shot, and it's in. Knocked away. Looking for Para. Could fall for an opportunity here. The shot comes in. Oh, it's brilliant.
Halftime at Children's Mercy Park. FC Tulsa, the visitors, and they got a little visiting crowd here that will have liked that first half. They lead by 1-0 over SKC2 alongside Nick Garcia. I'm Carter Augustine. Let's take a look at the highlights from the first half. And a little bit against the run of play, FC Tulsa with their first foray into the attack in the 8th minute, and they won a penalty foul on Marlon, picked it up, and Dario Suarez, well, there's no stopping that from the penalty spot for FC Tulsa.
And that was kind of the start of it, right? I mean, not much more. I think with more purpose, it's been faster. So while Sporting KC2 might have that edge, I think possession with a purpose definitely tilts in favor of Tulsa.
We've seen a lot of second half goals in this matchup in the first 3 games, perhaps more of that to come throughout the second 45 in this one. We'll take a look at the coming schedule for SKC2. As recently they've been at home. Well, no, we'll take a look around the league actually, as the lone match tonight. But an action-filled weekend in the USL Championship as always, and some really key matchups to look forward to, the likes of San Antonio against New Mexico on Saturday. Really looking forward to some of the matchups throughout the USL Championship this weekend. Of course, in the East, in the Central Division, FC Tulsa trying to catch up to Birmingham and Louisville. Louisville on the road at Memphis this weekend. And FC Tulsa, of course, will be hoping to hold on to all 3 points in this one. Birmingham at home against Charlotte's one to keep an eye on, as it's halftime in Kansas City and FC Tulsa have a 1-0 lead. We'll be right back with the second half kick from Children's Mercy Park. Welcome back into Children's Mercy Park. Friday night lights in the USL Championship. And in this Central Division matchup, FC Tulsa with the 1-goal advantage heading into the break. We're just about ready to head out of the break as the two teams back on the pitch, huddling in their respective halves. Of course, they've switched sides. SKC2 to go left to right in this second half, and Enoch Mushagalusa and the home side looking to do what no team has done to FC Tulsa this season. That's come from behind at halftime to beat the visitors. 10 matches with the lead at halftime for FC Tulsa this season. 9 wins and a draw from those 10. They have good history with the lead through 45. We'll see if that holds up here tonight. Back underway with FC Tulsa in the all-white, starting with the ball going from right to left in this second half. Alongside Nick Garcia, I'm Carter Augustine. No changes at halftime for either side, Nick, as well, we talked about it. FC Tulsa really getting that penalty in the 8th minute, and they've been comfortable defending that lead throughout that first half.
Yeah, and guess what? It took them 12 seconds to get the ball from their left back all the way up top, trying to establish some pressure here against Sporting Kansas City 2. And again, I think that is their MO. They want to put Kansas City on their back foot because they know that they're a little bit sluggish, I think, at times. At least that's what has happened here in this game, where Sporting 2, again, just struggles to get that momentum going forward of quality.
And now the high pressure from FC Tulsa. Didn't see a whole lot of that in the first half, but they come out of the gates in the second and force a turnover, win themselves a free kick high up the pitch.
Definitely not the best place for it. You know, I think LaFleur, again, was caught a little bit flat-footed. He didn't know exactly what was going on there with Marlon, and guess what? It's another in-swinger here. This one, I think I'm probably a little bit more cautious here for Sporting Kansas City, because this ball could come straight in at Pools Camp. One deflection either with his.
Well, that's not going to trouble Pools Camp in the end.
Wasted, errant, whatever you want to call it. Definitely wasn't what they were looking for.
And yeah, you saw the rude look on the face of Rodrigo da Costa, the top chance creator for this FC Tulsa side, and just outside the top 20 in the league. Couldn't force a chance created out of that set-piece opportunity. Just expect a bit better quality off the left peg of Rodrigo da Costa. As Duke sidesteps one defender, and he's seen a fortuitous bounce back into his path. It's a late challenge on Christian Duke. Play on, says the referee, advantage. And Smith can't get it into the path of Mushagalusa. Good chance for SKC2, goes begging. Duke is down in a crumpled heap behind the play. It was a really late challenge on the captain for SKC2, and he's still down, gathering himself.
You know, the trainer's going to come out. He's going to check him to see what exactly is wrong, you know, this early into the second half. Really any time, right, is not a good thing, especially for your captain, your stalwart that you want out there on the field the whole time. But I think if you look at the ball that was played there from Sporting KC's backline over the defense of Tulsa, kind of giving them a little bit of their own, I think that was a good ball, right? But again, in that final third, you've got to do a little bit better.
And it was Christian Duke who played that ball over the top. O.J. Smith, the man running in behind. Let's take another look at coming together. As Smith sprinted away, and in the end, might have just been a non-contact injury. We heard the yell from Duke, and on first viewing, looked as though there had been some contact, but no, the long-time SKC2 man went down off the ball, and we already saw the sign there from Isaac Gomez, the trainer.
Yeah, sub is going to have to come here. Here's a better look just to kind of see exactly what might have happened.
Lucky break here off the initial touch from Duke, and just on the stretch. Nothing there.
No contact. And again, you know, maybe it's a muscle that wasn't warmed back up. A lunge, something obviously happened, and it's unfortunate, right? And he's going to be subbed off, and it'll be interesting to see if Paulo Nagamura changes his overall team lineup. You know, what he does. You know, is this going to force Kansas City into a different formation, getting the ball forward defensively? It'll be interesting to see what kind of instructions kind of get passed up and through to the guys.
That's a shame to see Christian Duke walking off the pitch, and a legend in the USL Championship, just became the 6th player in league history to cross 15,000 minutes, over 100 appearances for SKC2, the all-time appearance leader for the club. He's replaced by Jahan Rod, comes on the pitch to join his twin brother Kave in the 11 for SKC2. And well, this will be interesting, Nick, because Jahan Rod and Petr Kuic usually play at the base of the midfield. Duke, more of a box-to-box type player. So we'll have to see how Jahan Rod comes on and fills the big boots of Christian Duke.
And that's it, right? I mean, obviously you're still down a goal. You're just changing one guy, but you've got different personnel with different qualities, different strengths and weaknesses. And like you said, with Duke being more of your box-to-box kind of guy, giving you maybe a little bit more forward.
Time for Jahan Rod to step in and see what he can do. A little more advanced than he normally plays. Paul G's thought there was a collision there on the pass from Duke, and good work from our camera crew to show just a non-contact injury, so you hope for the best for Christian Duke. Look at this sprint away from the back line, and a powerful shot that might still be rising if it didn't crash into the stands behind the goal. Marlin bursting forward for FC Tulsa.
Right idea, just not on the target.
Smith, touch. Not good enough to keep it for Roger Smith in SKC2, and he gives it right back to FC Tulsa. There's a poor touch in turn from Kembo Kibato. Good tackle from the midfield of SKC2. The home side can get back onto the ball.
You know, if you look at Tulsa right now, you know, really all they're doing is pressing Kansas City's back line with a guy and a half, maybe even 2 guys. And it is pretty effective. It's pretty easy. They kind of bait him into some bad passes or some bad dribbles.
Oh, what a touch that is from DaCosta. It falls to Suarez. Johnson streaking in behind. The referee's gonna call that initial foul, and you see the argument from SKC2. They thought he had played an adequate advantage for FC Tulsa, but Kevin Fiker is gonna bring it back for a free kick.
Yeah, and Kave Rod definitely gets him here. The referee lets it go. I think it's the right call.
As this first touch from DaCosta was sublime. It's a definite foul, but the argument you saw being made, Nick, from the players from SKC2 was Suarez got a pass into the box, the advantage into the feet of Johnson. And after Johnson was unable to bring it under his control is when the referee pulled it back for the foul.
Well, I think you could see someone coming there at the top of the screen that held him on. Might have been LaFleur, but Sporting Kansas City definitely dodged a bullet there.
No, it's a free kick lined up from Suarez. Got good curl on it, but Postgame positioned himself behind in an easy save for the SKC2 goalkeeper. And now they look to spring a counter, and Mushagalusa, who's 1v1 on the near side with Corrales. Mushagalusa into the area, dribbles around Corrales. Just taking the pace out of the attack. And Smith loses out for SKC2. Don't even manage to get a shot away on that promising looking attack. And now Kuic, that's rather cynical. And he'll go into the books, a yellow card to Petr Kuic.
And he had to do that, right? Musa, I don't know where he was going. It kind of seemed like he ran out of steam there. Wasn't exactly going direct to the goal, a little bit sideways, turns the ball over. Next thing you know, again, Tulsa, they've proven here this game they were very good on the counter and on that fast break, and that's what just happened. And you had to foul him, you got a yellow card, so it's a game of errors, right? And again, I hate to harp on that, but there's too many errant balls being given away, too many missed tackles, too many easy chances that make it very easy for an opponent for both teams.
Just the second yellow card of the match, one per side, as Mushagalusa joins Jason Johnson for FC Tulsa in the referee's pocketbook. But just as Nick Garcia was saying, looked as though there might be something on for SKC2 in that attack. And that's the flip side of the coin with Mushagalusa dribbling at players. As now he comes back to try and help out. As Kaveh Rod was pulled over to look at Johnson. Now everybody inside the SKC2 defensive half, and it's switched over to the right, Matt Sheldon. Drops it back for Bourgeois. Davis wanted to nibble at that. It was just out of his reach, and it's a good ball in behind. Corrales' first time seen away by Kaveh Rod. Shouts for handball, ignored, and now Mushagalusa on the receiving end of a foul. So a chance now for SKC2 to push out from the back.
Well, maybe he can catch his breath because he got backdoored. He got a little bit lazy. The ball was easily played behind him. Listen, I understand. I know that he's the guy that's going to be one of your go-to going forward. He has the ability to help coming back. But it just seems like he's sputtering a little bit, doesn't have the energy like he had in the first half.
Watch out, Barbier looking for that big switch to Mushagalusa. He didn't catch all of his pass. Intercepted by Tulsa, and here they come. Kuic and DaCosta do battle, and Kuic newly on a yellow card, perhaps just that in the back of his mind in that 50-50.
Yeah, but you know what he's done? He's set in that spot, that hole, that pocket. He's been a disruptor when he needs to be. Obviously, he got the yellow card.
Right on cue. He's in the battles, and that one helps wins it back for SKC2. And now a chance for Mushagalusa to run out. Can't catch up to that pass. Ten minutes down here in the first half. So second half. FC Tulsa lead through their first half goal. Dario Suarez.
You know, Jadama's done a great job here for Tulsa as kind of their left central back, chasing balls down, chasing players down, winning his 1v1 duels. Here he is on the ball here now, but Tulsa just has a lot of confidence on the ball, especially playing out of the back.
Right on cue, Jadama sparks this attack for Tulsa, and Suarez, well, he had Marlon open. An important intervention from Roger Smith.
Great positioning by Roger. He was in the right space, didn't need to do too much. Helped to negate a potential offensive attack.
Doesn't quite come off in the attack for Roger Smith, but he did well defensively on that occasion. As the tactical battle continues here in the second half. It's a good foot race. Rod goes to the ground to win it away from Johnson, and then uses his strength well to hold off the challenge of the forward.
And both of those guys look exhausted. An hour in. Who wants it more?
Well, this young man doesn't look exhausted. Caden Pierre sprinting up the pitch. Drops it into Mushagalusa. Well, I made a joke there about Pierre not looking exhausted, but it's a good spot, Nick. Seems like several players now on the pitch looking really tired as we head towards that closing half an hour. Game starting to get stretched.
Yeah, you know, travel, games. We talked a little bit early on about SKC2 having had a little bit more time off.
Substitution 2026.
perhaps sensing something like that. Paulo Nagamura, who's talking to Petr Kuic on the near side, is going to make a double substitution. Graham Smith checking in for Kave Rod. And Jake Davis sees his number called, replaced by Ropapa Mensah. And that on its face looks to be an attack-minded sub, bringing on Mensah, a forward, for Jake Davis, a midfielder. Perhaps we'll see Cisneros drop back into the midfield. But Mensah, you would expect, will lead the line now from here on out.
Well, I like that move, right? I mean, Mensah has the experience. He's gotten a lot of good quality games in this season.
Kuic delivery leaves a bit to be desired. It's easily cleared by FC Tulsa. And Mensah, who was hurt for a few months during the summer, but he's a big body up top. It's just around 6'2", 190.
Just kind of gives you a different look, right? And it also makes the opposition's defense probably a little bit more worrisome, right? You're an hour in, like we talked about. You've got a new guy coming in whom you haven't seen. He's hungry. The team's down a goal. And I know as a former defender, it's just one of those things, I wouldn't say scare, right? It makes you worried.
Well, like you said, it's a much different look. They've been looking after Cisneros as more of like a false nine, the young diminutive playmaker, and now they have to deal with the 6'2" big body of Ropapa Mensah. For a defender, that's got to be a much different experience.
Absolutely, you know, and again, he's fresh. He's run substantially less. He has seen some of the tendencies from his opponents, and probably more in tune.
As the referee was keeping a watchful eye on this conflict on the far side of the pitch, and he spotted no foul, just allowed things to continue on. It's going to be a throw-in to FC Tulsa after this skirmish on the far side of the pitch.
Yeah, nothing there. Shoulder to shoulder. You could say maybe a little bit of a ticky-tacky foul there on SKC2.
As Mushagalusa gingerly picks himself up, testing out that ankle. Nothing doing, says the referee. We're back underway. Bird was looking for the cross field, and you heard the scream from the FC Tulsa bench. They get lucky, though. It's given right back to the visitors. Suarez, a bit too clever for his own good. And now Mushagalusa turned from one, but gives it right back to Bird. Both teams struggling to keep hold of the ball. Oh, that's a hefty challenge from Bird. Referee was right there. Says it was clean. Shot from Johnson blocked away. Barbier still feeling the effects of that challenge from Eric Bird.
I'd like to see that. Too bad we don't have VAR, because I think that could potentially be one that looked like he might have left his feet. Barbier was there. He was the one that felt that, but it looked pretty bad from here. And obviously, like you said, the referee allowed play to continue, so no foul, no stop, no harm.
I'm with you. I want to see a replay of that one. As referee was in close attendance, Kevin Fiker, he was right there. Saw Eric Bird getting the ball in his eyes. Now Kuic tugged back by Bird, and that will be a foul. Now let's take a look at a borderline challenge from Eric Bird.
It was hard, it was physical. Obviously the studs were not exposed, but you know, in this day and time, you can't judge intent, right? And obviously he wanted the ball a little bit more than Barbier.
Yeah, certainly left his feet.
Yeah.
As you said, the studs weren't showing.
Barbier seems to be fine running around, so yeah.
Well, like you said, in the modern game, when you leave your feet like that, you're always just putting it into the mind of the referee.
Well, and again, quite often, you know, as a defender, you are taught time and time again not to leave your feet. But when an offensive player seems to do it, I think there's probably a little bit more leeway, right? Right, wrong, or indifferent. Yeah.
do wonder if that was a defensive player making that action. Perhaps the call would have gone differently. No harm, no foul in the end. Barbier is okay. And here comes Smith breaking the lines into Mensah, who lays it off and charges forward into the box. Plenty of numbers forward here. Pierre's first pass blocked. Gets it back, Pierre! First goal as a professional for Caden Pierre! Well, the ball bounced kindly to him. And on the second attempt, he made no mistake with his left foot. Caden Pierre, the 18-year-old, levels the score. 1-1. What a sensational goal for the 18-year-old.
What a great run, right? He takes it, he's calm, he's collective, it pops up, it's ball to hand, play continues as it should. And it's a deflection, right? And hey, well-deserved. He's going to goal, he's attacking, he's mindful of where he has to go, he gets the shot, and guess what? Good things happen when you get the ball on frame.
Good things happen when you get the ball into the feet of this young man, Caden Pierre. We've seen him bursting down the right all game long, all season long. And the right back on loan from Sporting KC. His rapid ascendancy as a professional continues. What a year the young man is having. Just turned 18 in February. He signed with Sporting Kansas City as the 18th homegrown. And here he is, popping up with his first goal as a professional.
You know, and I think if I kind of replay in my mind the past 3 minutes, you know, I would say that Tulsa has been a little sluggish. They haven't been as sharp. Defensively, they haven't been as strong as they were when they started the second half. And I think that also kind of played into, you know, part of the reason why Pierre was able to kind of dribble 3, 4, 5 guys.
Just took their foot off the gas pedal, FC Tulsa. Maybe this will wake the visitors back up.
And it looks like it's raining a little bit.
Rain starts to fall here in Kansas City. That'll just add some conditions at the end of this match, just as it starts to heat up on the pitch. Miscommunication there. Both players unsure. Eventually Cisneros gets hit, and there's a chance for Mensah to play in Mushagalusa, who's in behind. What a tackle that is. Jadama on the cover. He had to be inch perfect, and he was. Modou Jadama with a crucial sliding tackle for FC Tulsa.
Right place, right time. He's reading the ball. A great surging ball forward. I tell you what, he did very, very well to make sure SKC2 did not get any closer to that Tulsa net.
Rain starts to fall in Kansas City. 72 and sunny at the start of the match. Not so anymore. There's 2 changes getting prepped by Michael Encian and the FC Tulsa staff, perhaps in response to conceding that equalizer from Caden Pierre. Mensah, well, he's dropping deep and trying to be a playmaker. Slots it over to Pierre. Acres of space once more on the right side. Pierre, his cross deflected. Jadama not the most convincing of clearances. Marlin gets ahead to it to complete the clearance. And all of a sudden, SKC2, a bit of wind in their sails. It's Jahan Rod. And Kuich into the feet of Smith. And the seas just parted for O.J. Smith. And you see the look on his face. Couldn't bring that under his control on the first opportunity. And that was a great chance for O.J. Smith.
A little bit of surprise and disbelief, maybe?
I think you're right. Just had his eyes up looking at that 1v1 with the goalkeeper, I think. Not for the first time we've seen Smith in good positions, but just that first touch letting him down.
You know, I think what's going to be interesting here and kind of doing my homework pre-game, an interesting stat here is that Tulsa has given up 6 goals in the 75th to 90th minute, and their opponents have given up 7 goals. So that 75th and 90th minute, I think, is pretty interesting when it comes to goals scored for and against.
So what you're saying is we might have some action left in this match.
Well, obviously we're getting 2 subs, so I can't believe that it's going to be, we're going to park the bus and defend. So, yeah, I think, having Coutinho come in now, you've got the new guy here in Avion Flanagan, who's on loan from FC Cincinnati, who just played and who was acquired this week by Tulsa. Yeah, I mean, I think more goals are going to come, right? Because Tulsa needs to get some wins. They know they need 16 points here in their last half dozen games to secure a playoff spot. So for them, it's about points, whether they be at home or on the road.
Well, and they're also trying to catch Birmingham Legion in second place in the Central, which would mean a home playoff game for FC Tulsa. A win here would put them just 3 points behind Birmingham. But keep in mind, they don't play Louisville or Birmingham the rest of the way, so they're going to need help. And FC Tulsa will be looking at this match trying to get all 3 points against the bottom team in the Central Division.
Well, again, anytime you can get points against an opponent, especially that kind of help you leapfrog people, this is the time of year for that, right? You want to win your games. You want your opponents to lose games. So those 3 to 6 or 4 point swings become paramount as you head into the playoffs.
Meanwhile, OKC Energy in Memphis, just perhaps with one eye on this FC Tulsa match, as Tulsa have had a pretty decent lead in that 3rd position out of the 4 playoff teams in the Central. But perhaps just trying to claw back are those teams chasing FC Tulsa as well. So this game has a lot of importance for the visitors. We're into the final 20 minutes. Those subs seem to have helped out as here they come. Oh, it's just over the head of DaCosta. Cross in from Sheldon. And DaCosta now up top as Jason Johnson has left the pitch. Those inches away for FC Tulsa. It's Johnson and Corrales off for Tulsa with that double sub. Oh, the flick in behind opens up the back line. And a scrambling defensive effort. Isaiah LaFleur manages to get that away. And that looked as though it was going to be a great chance for FC Tulsa.
Unbelievable. Postgame was there. Jahan Rad seemed to have, I think, a fair gripe with the center referee and why he didn't call a foul there on Tulsa. But nonetheless, a corner kick, a short one at that.
Taken quickly, DaCosta dives around one defender. He slides to get that ahead of Mensah. Out of play for a throw.
And Mensah wanted no part of that. He knew what was coming.
So Rodrigo DaCosta perhaps moving just a bit higher up the pitch.
Well, I think those are the kind of adjustments, right, that I think Tulsa probably knows they have to make. When you put in Coutinho, you're going to have more firepower going forward. You're going to have, for lack of a better term, kind of a quarterback sitting behind your forwards who are going to allow you to play more balls closer into the 18-yard box and the 6-yard box that would give SK2 some issues.
Well, Coutinho did open the scoring here at the other meeting between these two teams back on June the 2nd. And we talk about FC Tulsa and their great halftime leads. Well, they had the lead in that one, but SKC2 pulled it back before halftime, so that doesn't really fit into their stat. So SKC2 do have priors coming behind to get a win against FC Tulsa this season. They did it here in that 4-1 victory. Looking to do the same thing tonight. As there's the new man, Avion Flanagan, on for his debut for FC Tulsa on loan, as Nick Garcia mentioned, just this week from FC Cincinnati. He slips and gives it to SKC2. And now Mensah picks up the foul on Bird. And he's been in the action since coming on, Real Papa Mensah.
Which is all good, right? I mean, he's mixing it up. He's chasing down. I don't know if this was necessarily a foul, unless he got hit by a feather.
not much in that one. And you see Eric Bird complaining. I'm with you. I think he had a right to complain. Slightest of contacts on Mensah, and he wins the free kick. Kuich curls it in. Oh, just over the bar. Well, right off his boot from Kuich. You thought that was going to bulge the net. Mensah got onto the end of it. Couldn't keep his header down.
What a great ball. Great service. Mensah was there. He had Wormel beat. He didn't really go anywhere. The only thing you're missing is just putting that ball back where it came from.
Well, you said it, the service from Kuich there. Mensah had the run on his defender, Sheldon, and you just thought, get that header down. It's going to be really difficult to keep out of the net. Into the final quarter of an hour. 3 points, it appears, very much still up for grabs in this one. This could go either way.
Yeah, I agree. And I tell you what, SKC2 is possessing the ball better. You could say that Tulsa's maybe a little bit more tired. They're not playing as direct. I don't know. I don't necessarily think that was by design for Tulsa, but SKC2, I think, is definitely taking better advantage of its opportunities. They're more crisp on the ball.
And here they go back to front. What a turn that is from Cisneros. And he's got Mushagalusa streaking into the attack. Numbers up for SKC2. Mushagalusa dribbles around. One LaFleur right at the goalie.
And again, I think Mushagalusa just a little too slow and indirect in getting inside the 18-yard box. I mean, come on. You know, like you said, 15 minutes left. You got to go to goal. Oh, no. Here we go.
And now up the other end of the pitch, coming together. It's an open net for FC Tulsa. And they put it into the empty net. Big contention along the back of SKC2. Postgame still down. Marlin peels away in celebration.
I tell you what, though, the center's coming over here to the fourth official on this near side AR. They're going to have a chat.
And DaCosta looks angry at the near side assistant referee.
Well, DaCosta better watch himself because he's going to get himself in trouble here. If not a yellow, maybe even a red card if he even comes near. So there's a lot of talk here. He's trying to influence the referees. I think the AR is trying to figure out what's going on.
Let's take another look at a crazy happening along the back. Pass from DaCosta through, looking for Suarez, and it was he and Pierre in a foot race. Postcamp off his line. A lot to digest in that one for the referee, Kevin Fiker.
Yeah, I mean, with that one snapshot that we all just resaw, I think, you know, again, it's one of these things where the goalkeeper has to come out. And as we're watching here, the stuff on the field, the center's going back over to the opposite side AR to get more information. But you know, I thought I saw a substitution gesture here by the trainer dealing with Postgame, but I think it was just one of those inadvertent, you know, hits and obstruction pieces. I don't think there was any kind of intent. Head-to-head, obviously. So I'm sure Postgame has a nice boxer's cut. But the SKC defense just looked like they just kind of stopped. The referee's coming back now to maybe address the hurt player and maybe make a final decision whether that's a goal or not, because we haven't heard whether that's a goal, correct?
I thought the referee pointed to the center circle, awarding a goal on first glance. This is a separate qualm I have, Nick. They should have more clear hand signals from the referee. It's all just points. Point there, point there.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. And I think the one thing that could cure all that, right, is having VAR here for the USL games. You know, clear and obvious, makes it very easy. You have more eyes on the game, more people interjecting and helping. But just looking down here at both of the technical areas, Paulo Nagamura looks to be giving some words of wisdom here to Mateo Bunbury, who could be making his professional debut here. And it looks like the three Tulsa coaches are chatting maybe a little bit more about some of their strategy as the last 10 minutes draw near.
And Remy Pruer is getting warmed up, the goalkeeper, the backup for SKC2 on the near sideline, as well as the referee talking with his far side assistant. Still so much to adjudicate from this coming together. And John Pulskamp still being seen to by Isaac Gomez and the SKC2 training staff. Meanwhile, Dario Suarez, I think, has a cut in his mouth. He's on the near side. Now off the pitch, being seen to by the FC Tulsa staff. And well, I think that speaks for itself. Pulskamp pounding the ground in frustration.
He can't even get up. Yeah, he might not be able to go. I mean, I thought it was just the boxer's cut that he had that they addressed, and he's been bandaged up, but it seems like it could be a lot more.
And on further review, it's going to be given as a foul. No goal.
And here we go. Look at the fourth official. He's now being berated and accosted, I'm sure. You know, the fourth official has quite a bit of power, you know, to ask, tell, and then dismiss any staff member, whether it be a trainer or coach. And I think this is one of those instances where things have gotten heated. The players are very, very upset. But, I mean, again, you don't have VAR. The center referee has done the best he can. The ARs have helped. The fourth official has helped. People are heated. Like we said, Tulsa needs the point, so they can't just give it away, and I understand what the frustration is, but
this is blatant.
It's part of the game.
You hear the arguments from Michael Encian.
Man, this is not okay, man.
Asking how is this possible? And like you said, Nick, the points are so important for Tulsa. I understand the uproar from the bench. They thought they had the go-ahead goal, and now a yellow card will be given to the manager, Michael Encian, as well.
And again, I think that's deserving, right? The fourth official, he's trying to do his job. He's trying to calm down the bench. I understand that Michael's upset, but, I mean, he's called it. There's nothing more you can do to get that goal back on the scoreboard.
Huge moment in the match. FC Tulsa thought they had gone ahead. A long break to see to both John Pulskamp, Dario Suarez, and Suarez is still off the pitch for FC Tulsa. So they're down a man right now, the visitors, trying to patch up Dario Suarez.
And here's the thing. You either got to get out on the field now or you got to sub him. I mean, plain and simple, right? I mean, there is no time to hope you can bandage this up or, you know, get this wound taken care of. It's sub or get back out there.
Time running out in the 83rd minute. There will be a bunch added on, you'd have to think, after that long pause in the match.
I'd assume a good 4 to 5 minutes.
And in fact, they are, I don't think, going to be able to patch Suarez up in the end. Still, it appears bleeding on this near side. Quick restart off the foul, and numbers streaking forward. It's a shorthanded FC Tulsa with Suarez off the pitch, and Smith, acres of space to run into on the left. Into the box, Smith, around one, takes a deflection. Wrong side of the post for SKC2. They get a corner.
I love it. Roger Smith, he's doing what he has to do. He's going to the goalkeeper. He's trying to get in between the posts. He's taking this defender on who knows that he can't foul, and guess what? You get a corner out of it. So very, very well done. More that has to happen.
And now for this corner, what a moment this is. A professional debut for Mateo Bunbury, the third member of his family to play professional soccer in Kansas City. His dad, Alex. Well, you'll know him well, Nick. Alex Bunbury played for the Kansas City Wizards alongside Nick Garcia back in 1999 and then 2000 with Nick. And his brother Teal, the 4th overall pick in 2010 for Sporting Kansas City. Won an MLS Cup during his time with the club. Huge moment for the 16-year-old Mateo Bunbury as this is cycled in. Smith gets ahead to it over the bar and out for a goal kick. Mateo Bunbury signed on an academy contract on Wednesday and already on for his first action as a pro. Just turned 16 in June as well. What a moment for the newest Kansas City Bunbury, Nick.
Absolutely, and what a great moment for him to be out here. Sporting Kansas City has fast-tracked him here, obviously to SKC2. They want and need him to get more minutes. He's in the process of still finishing up high school, and just like his brother and his dad, he aspires to be a professional at the highest level. He has the physical attributes. He needs the experience. Technically very gifted, and again, he's one of those goal scorers, much like his dad and brother, who has shown great ability.
What can he add to this as he streaks into the area? Mushagalusa finds Mensah on the turn. Oh, Bunbury's there! Oh, it just wouldn't fall for him. Kuwich, though, brings it down, took a deflection. SKC2 ramping up the pressure.
Tulsa's still back on their back foot. SKC2 just having more opportunities. And guess what? They're not quality opportunities. They are just sheer willing opportunities that they weren't taking advantage of in the first half. I think Tulsa's still a little discombobulated from not getting that goal to go their way. Here as we were talking, I saw the center referee come over and give, I think, the assistant coach a yellow card, probably for running his mouth. So yeah, I think Tulsa's off their game just because, again, I would assume they feel like they've been cheated and wronged and having that goal pulled back.
They are back to full strength as when Bunbury came on, Tulsa made a sub as well. Rafael Ayagua checking in for the injured Dario Suarez. So it is back to 11v11. Pressure from Cisneros, and he followed through into the Tulsa player. It's a yellow card for Ozzy Cisneros.
I think he probably led with his hand. And I think it's one of those things, again, the game is getting a little bit out of control. A little bit of embellishment. Didn't even touch his foot. And again, I think it's the frustration. It's the disbelief. To a certain extent, I think it's Tulsa kind of grabbing at straws because they feel the pressure.
Again, they thought they had a go-ahead goal just around 7 minutes ago or so. Tulsa, huge moment in the match. Suarez in behind, colliding with Postgame. Couldn't tell initially whether the goal had been given or not. Certainly Tulsa thought so. As now a 50-50. And it's going to go against Tulsa. And a yellow card to Avion Flanagan on his debut. And, well, he can't believe it along with the FC Tulsa bench.
Again, consistency. If we were complaining about SKC2 getting a card 30 seconds earlier, now Tulsa, consistency. I have absolutely no problem with it, whether I agree or disagree with the foul. That consistency is there, right? And as a player, as a coach, I know that you want that because it kind of establishes the limits of what you can and can't do, and same thing for your team.
Into the final 2 minutes of normal time, we should see quite a bit added on at the end of this match. Jahan Rod brought this forward. LaFleur's pass out of play, and he throws it in all the way back to Barbier. Now Pierre, first touch, just invited the challenge. Picked up by Graham Smith. Postgame stayed on the pitch after that collision. He's bandaged up. Delivers this into the attacking half. Bunbury picks up the change, and he finds a good ball into the path of Cisneros. Cisneros for Mensah. Bunbury's over, so Cisneros! It falls to Bunbury! And And it's blocked away. The chances keep coming for SKC2. FC Tulsa hanging on, and now they might pop out on the other end on a counter. Sliding tackle from Barbier.
Both sides of the ball right there. Offensively, a great attempt at goal. And defensively, Barbier here doing what he needed to do to clean things up. So if I had to pick one snapshot, that would be the snapshot that I had right there. Yes, SKC2 had a chance. Wasn't necessarily the strongest, but again, for that 30 to 45 seconds, that is probably some of their finest soccer.
FC Tulsa took the lead through a penalty. SKC2 back on level terms through Caden Pierre's first goal as a pro. Tulsa, a goal wiped off the board rather acrimoniously in their eyes. It all sets up for a flying finish to this match.
What did I tell you? The 75th to the 90th minute, goals galore, and obviously we've only seen 2 goals, but we've got 8 additional extra minutes. So I think this would guarantee some fireworks and some excitement here to wrap this thing up.
8 minutes added on at the end of this match. We're into the minimum 8 now. LaFleur in for Cisneros. Pocket of space, and he finds Kuich. Kuich on the edge of the area. Oh, it's right at the goalkeeper.
Great opportunity.
Game is getting really open in the final moments.
And I think part of it, right, is that SKC2 is throwing so many guys forward. Tulsa doesn't seem to have the legs.
Now Smith comes full-blooded into the challenge, and DaCosta is called for the foul, and I believe it's going to be a yellow card on Rodrigo DaCosta. And to say the least, he's not too impressed with the referee in the second half. Rodrigo DaCosta has been in the ear of Kevin Fiker all throughout this second 45 minutes.
Maybe that kind of led into why he got that yellow card. It seems like he was going for the ball, inadvertently kind of upends him. But yeah, I think just a little bit of extra chirping might have helped to push the referee over the edge and get him that yellow.
Oh, a big switch into LaFleur, who's 1v1. LaFleur with the step over onto the left. Oh, there was power in the shot. And it dragged just wide of the far post.
I like it. Mushagalusa was there. He was just maybe a half step off. He read it, just wasn't 100% committed. Maybe didn't know if the ball was going to go to him or in front of him. But yeah, some great stuff.
LaFleur, the other 18-year-old fullback for SKC2, and they're inches away from having goals come from both young fullbacks. Still searching for his first of the season, but he did net last season, LaFleur, in his first year as a pro. He's come on really strong late on in this season's campaign, making his 8th start now, Isaiah LaFleur. Really didn't start until June, so he's really made the most of the summer action for SKC2.
You know, what kind of concerns me here for SKC2 right now is there is no midfield. You have a back line, and you have about 4 or 5 guys just kind of hanging up top. So I guess they're going to live by the sword or die by the sword, right?
Exactly that, as Cisneros, well, he did so well to turn away from a defender, but his pass lacking the pace it needed in the end. Well worked with the up, back, and through for FC Tulsa. And there's Postgame quickly off his line once more.
Great job by Postgame coming out. Marlon just looks like he's gassed. Couldn't get there. Decent ball.
I believe FC Tulsa do have subs at their disposal, keeping to go with the players on the pitch. Cisneros has had the middle of the pitch to himself, essentially. He strides forward and is palmed aside by Warmel.
That was a 4v3 with what, probably 3 minutes left of extra time. If I was playing in the defense there of Tulsa, I would be irate at my teammates for allowing that to happen. You've got to tie, you got a point. All right, but you can't give up another goal, and it just seems like nobody's really stepping up there in the back for Tulsa.
There's a Good sliding block challenge from Flanagan. Oh, the pass from the floor was wayward, but a hurried clearance. Tulsa feeling the pressure. And SKC2 go on and find a winner. Barbier finds the pass to Kuich. It's just a little too long. He keeps it in with his head and gives it right back. And here it is, no midfield on the pitch, as Nick Garcia just said.
It's a dangerous game of Russian roulette. I mean, really at the end of the day, right?
Both sides playing it.
And I think SKC2 has probably taken better advantage of the situation.
Well, here's a pass played in behind by Bunbury, and Mensah peeling away. He's held back by Jadama. Going to be a yellow card for Mo Jadama. Looked for a second. There might be a chance to play advantage there for the referee.
100%. What was Kevin Fogger doing there? I don't get it. You let it play on. Yes, it's a foul. He's going to the ball. He's away from him. And you blow the whistle to let him off. It's frustrating, right? I mean, up to this point, I think he's had a very good game. But that right there could have maybe been the nail in the coffin for SKC2 here against a Tulsa team that just ran out of gas.
Bunbury had continued his run inside and was waiting. Instead, they'll have a free kick. Kuich clips it in. Strong goalkeeping from Warmo under pressure. Picked up Mushagalusa. He's always looking for that angle. And, well, FC Tulsa are aware to his tricks at this point. Just knew he was going to line up that curler. 2 players come over to block it. That's an aimless punt up the field from Warmo. He's gifted it right back. How about the strength from the youngster Bunbury? Holding off the challenge of Kibato. He's only 16. Just turned 16 in June, Bunbury.
Probably doesn't even have his driver's license.
Just moved down from Minnesota recently after the Minnesota United Academy was disbanded, and SKC2 hoping that that will be of their benefit. So far, he's looked up to the part, the youngster, in his first minutes as a pro. DaCosta, lots of space as he tries to curl that in behind. This time, Mushagalusa doing his defensive duties. Dribbles around 2. Just holds on to it too long. DaCosta slides and wins it back. And now Bird just waiting for options. They never materialized. It's a good tackle from Mushagalusa. Cisneros gets the 1-2. Did he keep it in? He did.
This could be it.
Bunbury, center of the park. He runs into the defender, Flanagan. Pierre tried to win it back. Clever back heel to open things up from Coutinho. And matched by the back heel from Jahan Rod.
Love it.
Boy, this is 50-50 in the final stages of this one.
Yeah, some great play, you know. I mean, both teams seem to want it. It's like Mike Tyson knockout, Nintendo style. You know you're going to get punched. You just don't know when or how. Both teams want and need the points. Very entertaining for sure.
And is there a knockout blow to come? Surely at this point, the odd goal in 3 will do it. Over the top, and Mushagalusa offside.
A little too eager, I think. Had he waited, paused maybe 2 seconds, he could have been in one-on-one with the goalie. But this is kind of a dangerous ball, right? So we know what's going to happen. It's going to get lumped up. Now's where you just have to kind of get the ball out. Nothing gets past you. Nothing stupid in the back.
Barbier fighting with DaCosta, and he got a left boot to it. Pierre, a brave header. Ayagua. Oh, that would have been some strike. Did that stay in the stadium?
No, I've never seen that. That was unbelievable.
All the way out of play, and the final kick of the match winds up out of Children's Mercy Park. Perhaps a fitting way to end this crazy matchup between SKC2 and FC Tulsa. They split the points 1 goal apiece. A frenetic finish in this one, but neither team able to find a winner. Nick Garcia.
Yeah, I mean, the crazy end, right? And I'm watching the players now go after the referee officiating crew. They're obviously displeased with the events of their goal being wiped off the board, and rightfully so. But I think if you kind of look back at that moment, what would we call it? Probably the 72nd minute, something like that. really, I think the tides changed for Tulsa, and they kind of lost some of their composure. I think SKC2 did a better job staying organized, taking care of the ball, and really going to goal very efficiently. So, yeah, I mean, a very entertaining game. Obviously, we called goals. I guess I'm somewhat correct in 2 goals on the score sheet, but this didn't disappoint.
A thrilling watch here at Children's Mercy Park, and it ends 1 goal apiece between SKC2 and FC Tulsa. We'll be right back to wrap things up. Full time in Children's Mercy Park as SKC2 and FC Tulsa play out a 1-1 draw in the Central Division. They'll have to split a point apiece as we take a look at the full-time stats. Pretty fun one here in Kansas City. Nick Garcia, what stands out to you on those full-time statistics?
Again, I think I'm going to go back to the possession. I think SKC2 did a better job in the second half, maintaining, being composed, and getting more out of their opportunities, right? And I think they really kind of took Tulsa out of their game plan. And again, we know what happened, in that last chukker of the game. But a very entertaining game. I enjoyed it, and I think you can see why Tulsa has been so dominant in scoring a lot of goals. They're a team that has the ability to score. I wouldn't say it will, but they have the creativity. Everyone knows their role, and SKC2 is still, I think, trying to find that winning mentality and getting consistent performances.
Well, FC Tulsa thought they had a winner laid on. It was chalked up. They'll have to settle for a point on the road here in Kansas City, as SKC2 and FC Tulsa played out a 1-1 draw. 8th minute penalty converted by Dario Suarez. Equalized by Caden Pierre with his first goal as a pro in the second half. Nick Garcia in the booth. Our spotter, Cruz Garcia. I'm Carter Augustine. Thanks for joining us tonight. Full time in Kansas City. SKC2 won. FC Tulsa won.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.